last week. Where's your next show?
Sure, we have a job. Rule of London. We've got a lot of
Scott? Oh.
We plan to be in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Castle.
Well, that's true.
Well, I have been to Edinburgh Castle. I traveled here years ago. I hosted it.
Some point, yes.
My dad had a movie where they did that.
Dad's in a lot of movies.
He has done a lot of good movies.
Good.
The environment.
No. A good oil supply. We'll bring the big rigs in. We won't worry about anything except just funds, money, and black gold.
What about the
Life otherwise? Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding, Sam. Did I tell you about the 4th of July party?
Well,
My place is
I'm really not as interested
we'll talk
in
about it.
the ecology
We're gonna get everybody here.
as some have this type
It's
of
gonna be awesome. So my dad.
I'm more interested in making the deals that will fulfill.
Now I'm kind of taking. I'm starting to keep track. We wanted to start out just learn the basics. Soon I'll be directing. Yes, thank you.
You know, maybe about a big fish or something would be good.
There you go.
Big fish.
Yeah, you know.
It looks like the food's coming out. It's about time. I'm used to a top quality shark service.
Yeah, sharp. It's got to be big.
Jamie, you've got to come
Pick it up there. Pick it up.
We'll sit down and we'll work on a pitch. That'd be great. We could do some
And look
films
at the little
together.
person with that red pump.
You can come stay in the bungalow for the 4th of July party. It's going to be awesome.
Honey, did you wash your hands?
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
You're supposed to know this.
Mr. Technology here. He's got a laptop at dinner.
Bring it up. No, don't push it because we got the water.
Darling, can I assist you tonight? All right. Well, you just reach out to me because you can count on me.
Miss Wilton, do you live on a ranch?
No, sir, I actually live in Dallas.
Dallas.
Yes, sir.
Like the TV show.
Not quite like a TV show. We got our shoulders.
No shoulder pads. Okay.
Hey, I like that. I like the new movie that came out that you were working on.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Yep. No, I've been
Great.
moving up in the family business. I don't know if you heard, but my dad's Stevie, and famous director, and he wanted me to start out as Keith Rip and work my way up.
I bet he's helped you get some jobs, hasn't he?
No. I've done some work on other projects outside of his business. I know you've seen him work. Yeah.
You never know what you get into.
Have you been here before, Jamie?
Stevie, it sounds like merit is the way you're going places. And we need to talk later. I have a couple of things, maybe a little assignment for you. Absolutely.
There's some interesting people here. I think we all come together.
By invitation.
I thought it would be everyone from Hollywood who would show up. There's lots of people I don't know. Of course, Angelina, but the rest of
You'll know me before.
Oh yeah? What's that thing on your head, buddy?
That's a crown because I'm the king.
Are you a jester? Oh no, I'm just messing with
The king of what?
Wrestling, fighting, being the absolute best. Take your pick.
Now, Royal, I remember hearing that because of your fame, you've been invited to be on one of the boards of one of the local organizations. Which organization was that you just joined the board?
My olive.
Oh, I'm not only on the board, but I'm looking to make big moves in company widgets.
Widgets?
It's a big future there, pretty sure.
Mama.
He thinks.
I think it's from the basement.
He doesn't know.
I know what I can do.
I know what I can do.
Poindexter, my friend, have you made that server connection for me yet?
Yeah,
Thank you.
just gotta put some extra hard drives in there for more storage.
There you go.
Speaking of hard drives, how about that blue screen of death that I have?
Yeah, I'll be by. I'll be by soon.
Okay.
I've been pretty busy lately. People have been at home, quarantining, and they've been on their computers all day. It's, more chance to get a virus the more you're on your computer.
Well, I mean, I really need to get that fixed. I've been working on this project and on my dissertation, and I just can't lose all that information.
I can't guarantee with the nerve hurt we'll have it done, but I can guarantee we will put 100% effort into it.
Great, I count on you.
Yeah,
But
you know what? We have a great, customer privacy. We won't take any of your data. We're 100% trustable.
not quite so sure about that.
I'm always worried about people who tell me to trust them, you know what I mean? They're gonna come out and say, can you really trust them? You know what I'm talking about?
Probably not in California, but in Texas, you definitely can trust everybody.
Oh, I see. So do you have horses?
I do. I have thoroughbreds.
Do you race them?
A few. Most of them I just keep on the ranch.
That sounds nice. What about
Just
cows?
keep
Do you have
thoroughbreds.
cows?
Of course, I have longhorns, Herefords. I have all.
Isn't that a huge waste of money just to keep the horses without them making something for you?
Absolutely not. They're absolutely just gorgeous just to go out and watch them run. You can go ride them. Lots of fun. It's a great activity.
Isn't it true that cattle's methane leads to global warming?
Hey, none of that. None of that. We love the energy sector. The energy
Actually,
The
sector.
earth is flat!
Poindexter. He's a funny guy. He's been on the internet. He's been
Actually,
at the end of
there are some places that they consider that the methane from cattle to actually be causing this thing called ozone to disappear, and there are some places in Venezuela and in Africa where there is lightning coming out of the sky without any clouds, and they think it might be due to the methane.
Yes, but we get to run our air conditioners full speed all day long.
And let me tell you, without a grade A steak from one of those cows, life is not worth it.
We had another
Good evening. I am the butler, and I can most assuredly say to you, I did not do it. But unfortunately, in these trying times when Corona is causing havoc with social calendars, our establishment is forced to cater to, well, a different class. Tonight, we're going to have some individuals of ill repute, and they have come to our establishment for reasons nefarious. We hope tonight to get through this evening without any unpleasantries, but I am ultimately not hopeful. As you might have imagined, this is a service quite different from others that we do in church. It's simply designed for fun. So please sit back at home, enjoy with your families. Make sure you join us on Facebook. You should have within your envelopes 3 round cards. These rounds will be opened when I so direct. You also have a sheet for recording clues and your guess as to who might be our murderer. Now, throughout the course of the evening, there will be a number of surprises that we encourage you to keep track of. There will be Amazon cards. Yes, that Amazon really has taken off. There will be codes for Amazon cards. If you discover them through the evening, you could enter them at the Amazon site and receive cash from Amazon. Delightful. Our establishment could use a bit of that cash flow this way. It is important that you continue to interact with your clues and your characters with our characters online tonight. They will receive important clues as to the identity of the murderer based on the information that you share. We will have a special prize tonight for the person that guesses the murderer, the first person to post on Facebook. So let me invite you now to sit back, to relax, and prepare for the unexpected. I shall introduce this rough clientele we have introduced into our establishment, and I hope you will find your way through their twisted and sordid lives. We begin with a really poor character, Mr. Dorkman, who begins his introduction to us tonight. Mr. Dorfman, so good to see you again, sir. Glad you brought your laptop to the table. Always good with your manners, you are, sir.
Yeah, I'm Poindexter Dorkman, part of Nerd Herd. Don't talk to me about the Geek Squad. Don't even. But yeah, if you need your computer fixed because you're a scum that lives under a rock and haven't used an iPhone in 5 years, come to me.
The name's Bond, Jamie Bond. You probably know my dad, Sean. He's British. I'm not. I work for, well, let's just say it's a secret for now. But I'm one of the agents here to uncover what might happen.
Hey guys, my name's Sam Spelburn, and I want to welcome you to dinner tonight. Of course, you know who I am. You know my dad, Stevie, famous Hollywood director. I've been working up in the family business, starting out at the bottom and learning how things work. I'm a key grip in movies, probably lots of them you've seen.
All the way up to key grip, sir.
That's
Very
right.
good,
Working
very
up there,
good.
but I'm getting into writing and directing and that sort of thing, so looking forward to hanging out with you guys tonight.
My name is Nicole Wilton. My father's a billionaire, that is with a B and not an M. This is Prince, and he's come to join me tonight for dinner. Look forward to seeing all of y'all later.
Oh, you brought the hound to dinner.
Of course.
Delightful.
My name is Zangelina Jolie. Of course, you all know me already. You've seen me in many films. As you can see today, I am wearing my flapper dress from the 1920s to promote my new show, The Great Gatsby.
I'm Toyoga. I've just got finished with the shots. And if you're needing any of my performance, you can get a hold of my manager. You will need to keep social distancing. I do not tolerate any closeness for 6 feet.
Well, folks, of course, welcome to the event tonight. I don't need much introduction, but of course I am. Dr. Indy Jonas. Glad to be here tonight. We'll be making the deals, cutting the transactions for the big bucks. Watch for it.
Oh, yes, a question with the menu. You are a vegetarian?
Vegetarian? Why would you ever consider me a vegetarian?
Oh, we don't particularly serve that kind here, sir. So, vegetarian's bad for the economy, you understand.
Well, I will dine as I see fit, and your servers will take care of it. As
Yes, sir.
I
Of
prefer.
course, sir.
Hello, all. I'm Una Vorsti, soon to be PhD. If you have any, extra change laying around, I have a GoFundMe page. Just talk to me later.
I am Fiona Figstein. I am the Executive Director of Internal Audit at Widgets, Inc. I have many friends in high places, so be careful. I know people in the IRS, and I know other people in high spots. Just be careful.
I'm Royalty, professional wrestler, can take whatever I need to take, and am more than just words, unlike some of my present company. So, thank you.
Always a pleasure, Mr. T.
Scala Bars, best high school band in the nation. You should check us out. We are on all the social media. You can watch and make sure to leave a good rating.
How in God's name did she get in here? Oh, sorry.
I'm Skylar Starry, and I'm an astrologist.
Hi, I'm Fassa Schoen. I'm very good at fashion, and I'm very rich now. My fiance mysteriously disappeared, but it's not that weird, so don't ask me about it.
Of course not. As you can see, we have no standards left whatsoever, but one must pay the bills. So tonight, I'm going to begin our evening by instructing you to open round number 1. If our guests would look beneath their plate, you'll find your first set of clues. Please do remember the clues that you have at home are important to share with our actors so that they have a sense about them. Otherwise, they'll be lost. And here comes dinner. Oh, Miss Gaza, the help you've secured for us is amazing. And Mrs. Parker helping as well. So delightful.
Thank you, ma'am. They have child labor laws here?
No, sir, not in this county. So there's been some requests online for a little more volume. So they are working on it, and our actors are committed to Shakespeare. Let it project. So, our fine dining gentlemen, I use that term loosely, and ladies, what have you discovered about yourself?
Toyoka was so rude when I was at the mall getting my dress that she said so many rude things that I was so upset when I went out and I fell and I sprained my wrist, my dominant wrist that I use when I am calculating.
Oh, really? You just don't belong there. You should have tried JCPenney's.
I have just as much right to designer clothes as you do.
Well, I can tell you they're much more affordable on your alley there.
So that's Marcus Neiman's Fiona, is that right? That's where
Yes.
you were?
Yes, I was. And there was nothing that was worth getting while I was there.
How is it that you know that she was Neiman Marcus?
Can't tell you that. There's a lot of things I can't tell you.
Nicole, I have an update for you.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we're going to be making a groundbreaking soon. For our huge theme park, the Wilton Jonas. Oh well, Jonas Wilton. We can tolerate Wilton Jonas Resort and Theme Park. Groundbreaking coming up just next week. There's
Yes,
there's
it
very
must-
little to resolve.
It must be the Wilton name first.
I think that Wilton kind of has some shady looking eyes to her, maybe like Killer Dane. I'm not sure, but just look at him.
Indy,
Something scary there.
Indy, I didn't know y'all had already acquired all the land for that piece of property.
Well, of course, Royal, we've got that one little last deal to make, and I'm sure you and I can work that out quite easily. Don't mention anything to Nicole.
I've never liked professional wrestlers. They're very arrogant.
Only if they're good.
Speaking of, we need to talk later. I'm willing to give you 20,000 to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I need you
Yeah,
to
never.
do that for me.
It's never happened.
20,000.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
You guys watch out. That Nicole Wilton has mobster ties.
Well, you know, I was
I can tell
raised
you.
around mobsters, and I'm proud of it.
I can tell you right now, Royalty, that just because you have received the position on the board does not mean that there is going to be any changes.
Deep.
I have a lot of pull with the IRS. Just wait and see.
All I know is that somebody died, I got the seat, and now you get to deal with me.
Hey Fiona, speaking of your pull with the IRS, why don't you have you and your Irish buddies keep auditing my dad, see if I care.
Oh, we will. Don't worry.
Hey, Sam, tell me about that argument at your little brother's soccer game.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. So Royalty's little brother and my little brother play soccer together. And this guy, Royalty, it's like he's from another country like Europe and he doesn't know soccer rules or something. And so his little brother was offsides and he scored a goal, but it didn't count. So the ref waves it off and Royalty down here loses his mind and starts yelling at the ref. And I go down there and intervene on the ref's behalf. And anyway, I'm talking to my lawyers about this neck injury that I suffered trying to defend that ref from this meathead down here.
Yeah, that's what happens whenever you don't know the difference between a conversation and an argument, and you try to be a weak person who gets in between two others.
Oh, so tough.
Royalty, I do not appreciate you making me look bad in the media. Everybody knows that the parody of the adopter is of me.
Why do you put up with it?
Look, it's gonna sell big. I've got a few new characters coming up for our shows. We've got some good ones, but definitely the Auditor is gonna be the best. I mean, we've also got Sushi Roller and some different things, but the best part is when I do your character, I throw baby dolls at people. It's great.
I would never adopt children just to use them in fights.
Royalty, did you say you were going to be making more money?
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
yes.
because you still actually owe me a lot of money for the last costume I designed for you. My agent sent you an invoice, and I will be charging you.
Manners, manners. We have to face the audience. Manners, manners.
We'll see about all that. I'll let you know.
Royal, if there's some debt that you're working with, I come with the funds. So let's make a deal.
I was even denied an adoption in North Korea because of the adopter.
Hey, go ahead.
Royal, it's a green light.
So we need to talk about that job you have for me, because I really need this loan. I bet my uncle. You see, my uncle pays for my living expenses and stuff until I get my PhD and I can make my own living. He pays for me, and so the other day I bet him that this royalty routine would lose the next match, and it looks like the odds are against me, and I bet my uncle $20,000. Well, that was the $20,000 that I owe. And I can't, I think she has ties to the mob, so I gotta be careful.
Miss University, we all can't quite hear. You're telling your secrets. We must know.
Well, it's because she has ties to the mob, and I owe her $20,000 because I used it to, bet that this guy would lose his next match, and well.
I've got a deal for you.
Okay.
Royal is holding out on a deal with me. No one holds out on a deal with me.
It ain't happening.
So, you help me, and I'll help you.
I'll help you.
So Sam, I have an idea for a great new reality show.
Oh, tell me.
It's my life.
Is that the name of it?
It's called I Don't Have to Lift a Finger. Because that's the way I grew up. I never had to lift a finger to do anything, and I think it would make a great reality show.
I love it. Is there anything else?
She keeps
I just
looking
really
that way.
want to
She's
get
like,
into the
"Damn,
movies,
can I
and
hurry?"
so this is my idea, and this is my great, fabulous new idea to get into the movie scene. And so, it's a new reality show, and it's all about my daily life and how I'm waited on hand and foot.
I think that would make a great show, let me tell you. Problem is, right now, I'm kind of on the outs with my dad. He's not letting me be anything but a key grip. He says it's because I'm just lazy and I don't take life seriously. Me? Really? No, the truth is, when we were on the set of his last movie, The Enchanted Gnome, you all saw it, right? Well, I put a sign on the back of his shirt that said, "I just tooted." Funny, right? Everybody thought it was funny. But my dad, he got really mad and said nobody took him seriously the rest of the day.
Well, I have money. That's all we need, right?
That's all we need to make a movie. I like it.
Sam, you need to have a talk with your father. He is not giving me the roles that I am most suited for. You need to remind him of how famous I am and how much I can help bring in the dollars for his films.
I'll sure do it. I'll be happy to.
Hey, Dr. Indy, I was looking at Vox News yesterday and said you had some pretty big projects coming up, but you couldn't talk about them. Anything you can tell us now?
Well, I do have this big water park resort theme park coming up, and I'm hoping if I can make a deal with someone at the other end of this table, we're going to build a big arena next to it, a performance arena, right down the road.
I think I have some auditors that are going to be talking to you soon.
No, we don't need any auditors. We just need to move forward. The deals, that's what's important.
Yes.
No audits needed.
Oh, just wait.
But Dr. Jonas, I'm not real sure that a family-oriented place is what we need. I'm not really all into kids and stuff. Will it make us money?
Money is what we're always after. I am thinking, as I in the recent years have become a vegan, I'm thinking that we should have one of the significant themes there is a total vegetarian vegan theme part to the theme park. And in fact, they served some meat products here on this plate in front of me, and I'm quite offended. I'm sure if we had conversations up and down this line, I could convince you why you might want to also join me in the vegan status.
Only after dessert, sir. By the way, Miss Fingstein, an ex-boyfriend of yours is calling the establishment. a fireman named Red Axelhouse. He apparently asked you to stop stalking him.
I have not stalked him. He's the one that left me at the restaurant just because I have someone auditing his books twice a year. That's all.
How convenient, ma'am. I'll take care of it immediately.
So, Fiona, I'm just wondering, would that explain this incident that I had with you? Because I saw you at the computer store yesterday, and you looked like you were about to kill somebody. I mean, not that that's different from the norm, but...
Could be very possible, yes.
So, Indy, can you tell me about this new resort you're building?
Well, of course we have one little property. It's an insignificant part of the property. It's just the deal that I might need to make to finish everything. But other than that, this theme park is going to be fantastic. It will bring money to the area, support my cause, vegan, and of course, fund my personal activities.
Now, the fact that somebody thinks that because your aunt dies, they get to steal her things doesn't exactly bode well for their potential, does it?
Whoa,
you
whoa.
have room to talk. Well, you're the one that got your position on the board because someone died.
Well, to each his own.
Someone died?
Sometimes death is a benefit.
I've known many people to die in many different ways.
Sometimes you can make money off of death.
My husband is gone, and I made a lot of money, but I didn't make him go away. I just like the money. It's not weird at all. You don't have to ask me about it.
Sure.
Money is always good.
Royal, we have got to make this deal. Nicole's family, let's just say that they're somewhat mobbed up quietly. Let's just say we need to get this deal done because I don't want someone to come knocking on my door. Make this deal, royalty.
No.
So, Nicole, tell us a little bit more about you. Besides dogs, anything else that interests you? And money?
Well, you know, you were talking about death earlier. I've known quite a few people that have died. It's very interesting the way people have died over the years.
People you knew?
People I've known.
And
strangers.
Maybe close to you?
No one really close.
Maybe in your way?
Yeah, maybe. You know, 'cause I always get in my way. My daddy taught me that.
I'm sorry. Can you just give me 5 more days? 5 more days. I know. I need to make it to Las Vegas. I just lost the horse race and I just can't. I'm sorry, but
I'll think about it. Just get with me later tonight.
Okay, just don't.
I'm enjoying my dinner right now, so get with me later.
Okay. You promise I'll be here later?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Spellburn, you have a message from an admirer. He is questioning the fact that your father is one of the most important producers in Hollywood, and yet you are a key grip. And do you have any ambition, sir, to rise your station, perhaps to direct something in the future?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I think that's a little bit overblown by the paparazzi and stuff. They always want to make up stories. The truth is, I went to USC for a half semester and I learned so much, and I'm ready to take over the directorship from my dad. And so me and Nicole Wilton here, we're actually working on a project right now. So I just think the future's really bright, right, Nicole?
Absolutely. Show all about me. What could be better?
One with me, darling.
We'll talk later.
Angelina Jolie, I just couldn't help but wonder why you didn't get that part in the last movie. I think you're fabulous, but is there like a reason you didn't get that part? Did something happen?
And did you talk to Sam about it? I was just discussing this with Sam. He needs to speak with his father. I am the best actress in Hollywood, and I should have received the role.
And for your next role, can I make your dress for that? Is that a yes? Can I make your dress?
Talk to my agent.
I tell you, Mr. T, your table manners are just exquisite. You are a role model for children and apes and all inhabitants of zoos around the world. It's such a pleasure to have you back in our establishment. Last time, well, that little matter of damage you caused, still outstanding. You're such an terrible role model, Mr. T.
You think that's damage? You should watch me in the ring.
Yes, throwing babies, no less. Quality.
Royal, I keep hearing the dollar signs. You must make this deal with me.
No way. My aunt's property is sacred. I'm not giving it up.
Consider her death as an opportunity to advance yourself.
I advance myself with my fist.
Indy, instead of focusing on royalty, could you donate to the band? Each kid really needs to go to band camp every summer because they're just not good enough. They need to be better.
Yes, the donations to the band. I'm sure we'll be getting around to that very soon. Yes.
Thank you.
Actually, Scale, I've been really stressed recently because I'm an astrologist, so I don't make a lot of money, but I'm trying to become a comedian, and I lost a huge bet to royalty during the Super Bowl, so yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to pay him back.
Speaking of, how many times have you ever lost a fight?
0.
How about your new opponent that's coming up? Have they ever won a fight?
They've won. They won't win this one.
Oh my.
Why don't we lighten the mood? I have a funny joke. Again, I'm trying to be a comedian, so it's fine. So, my friend Jason and Scott were hunting deer on a sunny Sunday afternoon, and suddenly, Scott grabbed his chest and sat down on a rock, and he said, "I think I'm having a heart attack." And 5 minutes later, Scott fell over and was unconscious. Jason panicked and called for help. The voice on the other line squeaked, 911, what's your emergency? And Jason replied, my friend just had a heart attack and I think he might be dead. What do I do? And the operator said, first, you have to make sure he's dead. Jason replied in an unsure tone, all right, I'll be right back. Bang! Jason ran back to his phone, picked it up and said, all right, he's dead. What do I do now? That's not how you real career out of it.
That was a terrible joke.
Miss Zangeli, just a quick question. How can you actually tolerate being called the adopter by Mr. Royal T? That is insulting, madam.
It's infuriating. He cost me a child by his parody, The Adopter.
Oh, just wait. I've got a new one coming up too called The Auditor.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder who that is in reference to.
You just wait. All this money that you've got, just wait. My friends with the IRS know your name.
Okay. Everyone knows my name.
Better yet, wait till my lawyers get a hold of him. Then we'll see who has his money.
That's true.
Or wait till I get a hold of him.
Does that even mean?
He has connections.
I do. Lots of connections.
Mr. T, just a question for the valet outside. What does T stand for?
Tyrannosaurus.
Of course it does. And what was the issue of Miss Kara Tin? She claims that you have ruined her mother's hair?
I don't know what she's talking about.
Of course not, sir.
Well, this big deal that I've got going, royalty continues to hold me up. There's several people here that could benefit me, that could certainly benefit me by, let's just say, putting Royal out of the picture.
Well, you know, if you don't make me money and make my daddy money, we can have a discussion about other things too.
No, let's not have that discussion.
I have a way of making people disappear.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Such a collection of despicable scoundrels and rotten life have gathered to darken our doorstep. But you have to pay the bills. You have the motive laid out before you tonight. They wish ill for each other. Some for personal means, some for financial, and some because I believe they are insane. But what will happen through the course of our dinner? You'll have to wait until we remove the next card. So let me invite you to take out round number 2. And let us move our story forward. And as always, please online, remember to share your clues with us. We'll get to them as quickly as we can. There is a bit of a time delay between what we do and what you receive. So if there's a delay, that's actually what's going on. But think about what you've heard tonight. Business deals underfoot, mob connections, aspirations for greater positions in life, and some bad role models. What is one to do? What is one to do to resolve their problems? So please at home, open round 2. Keep an eye out for our special Amazon codes that will be coming your way very quickly. And share your clues with home. As always, remember you have a sheet in the back of your packet that allows you to keep information based on our suspects. And believe me, they're all truly suspects of one crime or another. We will be getting towards the dark moment of our night, so prepare your failing hearts for the dark practices of fallow people. Thank you, Miss Gaza. Again, another question for Mr. T. You purchased $25,000 of exotic fish and then killed them by putting them in a distilled water tank?
You know, when you're making money and you're trying to be cool, sometimes you do things, and it didn't hurt me. So,
of course it didn't hurt you, sir. Just $25,000 worth of fish. So our next course, the main course, is coming by. And please ingratiate yourselves.
You and darling, I just want to let you know one of my next successful projects will be to open a coffee shop right next to the university where you are working and where you'll be getting your PhD.
Well, if I stay there, if I can't pay off my uncle and Nicole, I mean, I just don't know. By the way, Nicole, I'm working on this huge payoff. I'll be able to get your money within, the next 5 days.
I'll be watching.
Toyoka, time for you to tell us everything you know about the senator. You know what's good for you.
I understand that there are plans for running for president for the next election. I was asked to come here to this lowly event just to talk sense to royalty. After all, this is his brother, and his brother probably would just like for him to just vanish off the face of the earth. He's just a big embarrassment. And he feels that it will hinder the election.
yeah, I don't care. If my brother thinks I'm embarrassing, then the answer is get over it.
All right. Meet me at Pier 13 later this evening, and we'll talk more.
Ah, Pier 13, good old Pier 13. Nothing happens untoward there.
Only in the noir movies.
Ah, of course.
You know, royalty, good bro. Ever since you've gone famous, I don't really know who you are anymore, but that can go both ways.
All right, we're going to take a...
Royalty disappear. My lawyers are going to help royalty disappear. I can't wait to humiliate you in court for that wrestling hold you put on me at the kids' soccer game, you animal. I've got an expert that's going to come and is going to show the world that a wrestler's body is a lethal weapon.
You bet it is.
You're going to get criminal charges and you're going to get thrown under the prison, royalty, after I take all your money.
You know, Dr. Jonas,
Yes.
I'm getting ready to call my daddy. If you can't get royalty to budge on the property, you know, he will be furious and he will call off the project.
No. Let's not call off the project. I'm sure I can talk royalty into it very soon. I'll make him an even better offer.
Well, you know, I think you should have done some more investigating into the property before you started looking at that and made that promise to my father.
One way or another, we will come through with that deal.
You better.
You're always our best waitress.
You don't want me
Most
to call
good.
my daddy.
You know, Dr. Indy, so how is that water part of the project going? I hear it's going to be awesome for families. This town needs something like that.
Well, why don't we take a break so you can enjoy your meal or perhaps interact with people online? There are a number of admirers online who are wondering about things like snakes and hairdos and lost jobs, all sorts of twiddle. So please enjoy your meal and enjoy online. As always, this will allow us to catch up with you online, so please share your clues, interact with our actors, and formulate your ideas. There is nefarious work afoot, and we'll see the results in just a moment. And we're back. This surly crowd continues to move through their twisted and rotten lives with relish and haste. There's been questions, Sangelina Jolie, that you have adopted 10 children. How many children do you need?
I've got so much money and so much love to give these children that have, their lives are, I'm making them so much better. I have plenty of love to give around.
Of course you do, madam.
Nicole Wilton reminds me of a serial killer.
Your social skills are amazing, Mr. Dorkman.
Why, thank you.
Well, let's talk about skills. Fiona, you've been sitting there nicely smug. I'm on to your scam you're trying to pull. I know you're using your friends at the IRS to cause misery on your enemies. You know they'll only put a target on your back, waiting an era called revenge.
They can have revenge. I still have enough pull in high places that it doesn't matter. There's nothing that they can do to me.
Target, arrow, revenge.
Nothing can be done. We'll see about that.
Toyoka, how can I get revenge on royalty? He has just made me so mad.
Well, maybe we could just find a boxer that is just in the heavyweight class to outweigh him. Somebody that just
Maybe we should talk to Nicole. She has ways of making people disappear.
Nicole, yes.
Yes, I do. I have friends.
My Uncle Joe, he just won't call that bet. I just talked to him on the phone. He just laughed at me. He said now he'll have a lot more money to pay for his own expenses instead of having to pay for my tuition.
We've made our deals already. There's still something that needs to be done tonight. We'll talk about it quietly. Toyoka, I wanted to let you know that my latest deal beyond the big theme park is I'm considering putting in a new fashion design school. Of course, I will name it the Jonas School of Fashion. But I was thinking maybe once your career is, of course you have a very long career, but if at one point maybe your career is slowed a little bit, you might want to come take over things at my School of Fashion.
Sounds like an idea. I'll consider.
Maybe we could get to know each other a little better.
Toyoka, I think you need to get your paperwork together.
That's a good idea, Fiona.
You wouldn't expect an IRS audit soon.
Of course.
Oh,
Maybe there would be
Fiona.
something besides that advice.
You shouldn't shop in high-end department stores, Fiona, because auditors just don't make that kind of coin. Furthermore, you should not get angry at supermodels when she does go to these places, as the supermodels are there for business, not play. Business. You should know something about business.
Yes, but you don't.
Honey, I am the top paid actress in Hollywood. I
Yes,
have
but you
my
know nothing about
handprint
business.
on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
So, Angelina, I've been thinking about what you asked me earlier about talking to my dad for you, and I'm totally going to have to talk to him about getting you some more roles. Not!
What?
No. On second thought, I'll consider talking to my dad. If you'll talk to your friends and do some work on getting old Fiona Fingstein off my dad's back. He's getting so tired of being audited by our friends at the IRS because he doesn't want to give her VIP tickets to a screening. Her being around makes everybody tense. Nobody wants her there.
Well, you know, Angelina, you really should become friends with Sam.
I am way more influential these days than your father is.
Because you definitely will be getting a role with his father. Toyoka?
Yes.
I have a question. Why do you think you're so great?
Well, the designer, Mickey Kors, is having a pure silver evening gown made, and it's being fitted to me. I will be modeling it for the next show, next year. You have no idea. I have no idea how I'll do that, modeling a metal dress. But I'm sure it'll be phenomenal. Everything I do is phenomenal.
Well, you know, maybe we should talk about that later. Like around, I don't know, 2:14 a.m. That's my favorite time of the night.
Toyoka over here.
Yes.
Thank you. I just couldn't help but notice that a dress made out of silver sounds really stupid and too heavy to model down the runway. Your designer, Mickey Kors, I have a platinum dress made for your fashion line that will be on the runway next fall. You should know that.
Well, consider that.
Royal. Yeah. We have got to make a deal.
Look, if you put property on there, I will talk to the WFW and every entertainment program in the world to make sure no one books at your establishment.
Royal, you don't understand. There are people that...
Careful, kid.
Well, there's just things I'm not going to talk about, but there are people that know things about me.
Look,
and things might happen if we don't make this deal. I'll make it. This is my final offer. 5 times my previous price. 5 times my previous price. You must take this deal. It is imperative for me.
Look,
I cannot wait.
I don't care about the people at this table. I don't care how rich or famous or especially daddy endowed and thinking special you are, Nicole, that anybody at this table is, okay? It's not who I am. I earned what I get, period.
By throwing babies around like they're just nothing.
You know, Sam, why are you just a key grip when your father is the biggest producer in Hollywood?
I told you, it's part of learning the business, son. You don't just start out at the top. You gotta learn how everything works out. I really wanted to do it this way.
Yeah, okay.
Royalty.
What?
Money does have lots of bonuses.
Okay.
Speaking of money, Royalty, so I know I still owe you $50,000 from last Super Bowl that I lost, but this year, let's double or nothing the bet.
Deal. Double or nothing. Let's go. Look, I'm going to be wealthy. I'm going to be powerful. I'm going to be strong. And I'm going to make the things that I want to do. Starting with the fact that, Fiona, you're never getting a promotion in your company again. And other than that...
I have worked for it, so I can tell you right now, you just don't know what happens if I don't get my way.
No.
Mr. T, we've been told there's an extra dish for you, some fish. Apparently, Miss Shirley believes that you needed some more fish to eat.
Yeah, good joke. Remember those fish I didn't care about that I killed? They were hers, but I don't care. It's fine.
Sangelina, I'm really here because I need your advice. I feel my fashion career is spiraling downhill. I need a big payoff before I'm just off the scene.
Darling, you're beautiful. Let's hope that this platinum gown works out well for you.
Yes.
Miss University, there was a call about a hair appointment that you apparently canceled today?
Yes. She didn't want to do it.
She's open to reschedule.
Well, she will not be my hairstylist anymore. She just, all these years of being my hairstylist and all this money I've paid out to her, and then this one time I wanted to get my hair done. It's terrible. And she wouldn't do it for free. So, I'll just get a new one.
Very good, ma'am.
Dr. Indy, I heard royalty earlier talking, and he said that the property you want to purchase, he won't sell until the fat lady sings.
Well, you may have heard that from Royal, but he may not be making the decision by himself.
So, Miss Holy, may I ask, why is it so tense between you and Mr. T?
He made a parody and called it The Adopted and started throwing children around, and everybody knew that it was about me. He's just not right. He's just awful, very rude.
And you won't sell the land that we need for my daddy's new resort.
He's just horrible.
Your daddy's
Who
resort.
throws children?
Yes, because the Wilton name will come first.
Let's just say that the Wilton name may be first, but we know who's making the big deals.
So Fiona, what is it like to have friends in the IRS? Have you ever used your connections for, like, nefarious reasons?
Only for important reasons.
Scale.
Like getting into movie screenings? Yeah.
Angelina, you should totally get revenge on Spellburn, the director, the movie director, because you're so great and you should be in all the movies, so you should get revenge on him. You seem like you'd like revenge.
Oh, darling, I'm all about revenge tonight. Royalty and Spellburn. Any ideas?
No. My husband disappeared, but I don't really know anything about that, so I don't know about revenge at all. He gave me lots of money when he disappeared, though. So, but don't ask me about it. It's not weird.
It's not weird.
I can help you get revenge. I can help things happen.
All right, let's talk.
So, Toyoka, how does it feel being at a party with mostly nobodies?
Well, they're all just lucky to have me here. And I assure you it will not happen again.
This meat sure is delicious. You know what I'm talking about? Love this food.
Dr. Jonas wouldn't know anything about that.
Meat. If you could only get past these meat issues and move on to something like good vegetables.
The lights just go out.
I knew this night would end poorly. There's a dead man at the dinner table. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There has been a crime. Perhaps we should be cautious of where everyone is in the establishment tonight and what they were doing when the lights were turned off. But I think we should hear from our suspects, because clearly they are all suspects, all with motive, many with means, but who had the will to commit the dastardly deed?
It's 2:14 a.m. It's a great time in the morning.
It definitely is. So, I didn't hear any footsteps after he was murdered. So the murderer didn't run away.
It takes 15 seconds to get the light switch on the wall. The light was off for 30 seconds. You tell me how that would work to get back and forth to murder somebody.
I can tell you that I was standing about 2 feet south of the victim when the lights went out. I immediately headed towards the eastern wall to find the light switch in the dark. I was feeling around for the light switch on the eastern wall, too far to the south. Oops.
Well, University was standing by the southern light switch. She could have been the one to either turn off or turn on the lights.
Well, I mean, I dropped my pickle and I was just looking around for it on the floor. I didn't think about turning on the light to find my pickle. I didn't realize what had happened.
Well, I noticed that Nicole moved locations before and after the lights went out.
I'm also pretty sure that Nicole Wilton moved locations in the dark.
Well, I wasn't far from the western switch. Yeah, I could have turned it off, but when the lights came back on, I was right by Fiona Finkelstein. 'Cause I don't trust her, and I wanted to be close to her.
And I was just a foot away from the victim, and when the lights came back on, I was just hunched over my feet.
By the way, the light switch where I was at wasn't the one that was turned off, wasn't used to turn off and turn on the lights.
Well, you know, when the lights came back on, Dr. Indy Jonas was just a few feet northwest of where I was standing.
Isn't that kind of near the light switch, Dr. Jonas? I believe you and Zangelina were over there, and, you know, either one of you could have turned off the lights.
And Fiona had moved from her position, who was next to me.
Yes, Fiona was in the northeastern corner when the lights came back on. She'd moved positions also.
And the victim was in the very center.
I moved as far away from Toyoka as I could. I don't trust her.
Well, just because someone was standing beside a light switch before or after the lights were turned on or off doesn't mean that they're the one that flipped the switch, but it would make sense if that were the case.
The murder weapon was on the buffet table earlier by the bread and butter. The fingerprint analysis should only be used to rule out suspects.
Well, before the lights went out, I was standing about 3 feet south of Zangelina. Since she is the one who turned the lights back on, that means she must have moved positions in the dark.
I was trying to find the light switch to turn the light switch back on. I didn't turn it off.
Sure, that sounds obvious.
Man, when the lights were on, I was like over there, and then when they went off, I was right here. Weird.
I was standing in the southwestern corner of the room when the lights went out. I only moved 1 foot north by the time the lights came back on. I was confused and didn't even know what to do.
So, if someone was standing right by the victim before and after the lights were turned off, then how would they have turned off the lights so quickly? And how would they still be standing there? That's just impossible. Because, I mean, wouldn't they want to distance themselves from the crime as well?
Not always.
Well, as somebody who likes facts, just remember that the murderer will lie. Pay attention to the facts.
One of the facts we have for certain is that my good silver was used for murder. I knew I'd have problems with you all as riffraff. I was afraid you would steal the silver, not kill each other with it. But we've had it turned over to Officer Dangle. He is an appreciated client of this establishment, and he has performed a fingerprint analysis that should narrow down our suspects. I believe that report is coming in. Thank you, Miss Gaza. Punctual as always. So we have now evidence from the police station examining the butter knife that was used to dispatch poor Mr. Royal T. The report concludes that there were 5 suspects' fingerprints discovered on the knife. Dr. Indy Jones, your fingerprints are fingerprints A. Nicole Wilton, your fingerprints were also on the knife. Zangelina Holy, yours were there as well. Fingerprint E. Royal T's fingerprints were discovered. Perhaps he was in a moment of despair. And Fiona, your fingerprints were there as well. So now we turn to our audience at home. You've had a horrible crime committed before your eyes tonight, and we are at your mercy to bring justice and some respectability back to our establishment. So you have the suspects narrowed to 5. Please, at this point, take out your suspect sheet. Write down your clues. Share with us who you believe the suspect to be guilty is. If you would be so kind as to photograph your suspect sheet and post it online, we'll make sure that we give you credit when the culprit is caught. So to review, Dr. Jones's fingerprints were on the knife, Mrs. Wilton's, Mrs. Holy's, Royal T's, and Fiona Fingstein, all implicated by the police department. So please, online guests, make your guesses now. Actors in-house, you are also invited to confess if your souls are so inclined, but also to discover who the nefarious murderer is. And why, for God's sake, is this dead man still at the table? Shouldn't he be laying on the floor like a good dead man? So at this point, we're going to take a 5-minute break to allow you to review your evidence, make your final predictions. We will come back in 5 minutes and reveal who dispatched poor Mr. T. And we are back at the scene of a difficult and terrible crime where homicide was committed, perhaps not unjustifiably, but it has fallen to us to discover who has committed this heinous deed. We do ask you to make your final selections and determine who you believe amongst these rascals committed this horrible nightmare. So if you would, please post the name or take a photo and post it on Facebook. There will be a special prize tonight for our reigning sleuth who discovers the murderer. So now that you've had this last moment, I can invite everyone to take their third card, round 3 card, and open it up. All shall be revealed. Guilt shall be made plain, and the guilty shall be punished. So please, audience at home, open your cards as well. And the final clues to solve our mystery will be revealed. Because we suspect the murderer tonight will not be willing to come forward, I will poll you each to determine your guilt or your innocence. So let us begin with Nicole Wilton. What do you have to say for yourself, madam?
Whatever. So what? I'm a serial killer. But you think I would kill someone with a lame butter knife? Are you kidding me? I used to chainsaw people, and I would never kill before 2:14 a.m. Call it a quirk if you must.
I was thinking about killing Sam Spellburn to get even with Sam's father for never giving me a role in his movies. But because of this dumb murder, I didn't have the time. On second thought, the murder wasn't dumb at all, since Royalty was making me look bad in the media by creating the adopter. Royalty had to go, but I didn't do it.
Oh, I obviously didn't commit suicide. Find out who done it, and quick. You guys are making me furious by talking smack about me. Hey, maybe I could turn this into a new character, though, for the WFW. The Apparitionator, or maybe the Ghostbuster. But instead of busting heads of wacky scientists, I'll be busting heads of the living. Heck yes. After this, I'm gonna float right over to the WFW producer's home.
If this was Toyoka's murder, I can see where I'd be number 1 suspect. But Royalty may have come around as far as the board of directors' vote on my promotion was concerned. I also didn't appreciate Royalty's wrestling character, the auditor, that gave paper cuts with audit papers. But it was no reason for murder. I have other ways of getting even.
This is good. If Royal Weird T is dead, that is a forfeit. And he loses the next wrestling match, right? I mean, if he doesn't show up, that's a forfeit. That's a loss. Woohoo! My Uncle Job owes me $20,000. I'm in the money. Okay, I'm gonna write a check right away, Miss Wilton. Well, it's good to be free of debt, I suppose. I'm not the murderer, but I'm thrilled.
So Royalty's brother, the senator, is to run for the president of the United States the next election. His campaign manager came up with the evil plot to hypnotize me and trick me into killing Royalty during one of my runway shows. I think they got the idea from the movie or something, but I figured out and agreed to it for a price, of course. I don't like Royalty, and I think wrestling in general, especially professional wrestling, with all the silly characters and costumes is dumb, a waste of television time and airtime. So, whoever the murderer is, can you please give me credit to my boss? Can you just credit my boss for doing it? And that way I can get paid?
Yippee! I owed royalty $50,000 on our bet at the Super Bowl last year. I guess I don't have to pay now, but I am not the murderer. Also, I have a funny joke because I'm a comedian. So, where do dogs go when they lose their tails? The retail store.
You're supposed to laugh. But chink.
That's what I have to say about the dreaded royalty. Dead people do not pay debts. Why would I murder someone who owed me so much money? And it's not like I can resell these foolhardy wrestling costumes I spent so much time on.
I'm here to tell you something that none of you have known and nobody knows except for a few people. Royalty was my only sibling. After getting famous from the wrestling gig, T pretended most of the family didn't exist and we were thrown out like yesterday's garbage. Because of that, I failed to mention our 115-year-old great-great-grandfather passed away, and he was rich. Rumor had it that Royalty and I were the only ones listed in the last will, and that will was to be read next Tuesday, and that means I'm rich! Oh, but I didn't do it.
Well, and I didn't do it. I really don't care about royalty, or professional wrestling for that matter. So I'm not shedding tears right now.
I'm about to tell you all something that cannot be repeated, ever. I was hired by Royalty. I'm not a secret agent. Royalty had paid me over $1 million to assassinate someone at this party and was to give me the other half when the job was completed tonight. This is your lucky day, Dr. Jonas. Dead men don't pay their bills. You may live. In the future, if any of you find you're in need of my team's services, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll leave my business card at the door. My company is called Assassins Are Us, and we work around the clock, even on holidays.
Does that mean I don't get credit? No payment?
Royalty didn't know the rules of soccer. Our little brothers played competitive soccer against each other. The last game, we got into a physical fist fight because Royalty was assaulting the poor ref over an offside call. Royalty put me in a wrestling headlock and made me say, "Royalty is the best," before letting him go. That was humiliating. At that moment, I wanted Royalty dead. Since then, I've contacted my team of lawyers to humiliate Royalty in court. Now I'm not going to get my day in court anymore. Darn it, I'm not the murderer.
That leaves us one final suspect.
Each of you had all the motive you needed to take care of this guy tonight. Any one of you could have finished him off earlier. His grandmother, Myrtle, she would not make the deal. So she passed away. Let's just say she passed away. I had no idea she had a living relative in Royalty. He comes along and he won't even make a deal. Who wouldn't accept 5 times market value? Fiona, you could have finished him off earlier. You had the opportunity. You're right beside him. Angelina, if you could have just taken care of this, maybe someone else wouldn't have had to have done this. Nicole, I've been passing hints around all night long that something needed to be done, and you didn't take action.
I don't like to get my hands dirty.
Well, a little earlier, as we were dining, you may not have noticed I slipped the butter knife into my pocket. I was hoping to not have to use it because I thought one of you might do the work for me. But instead, things needed to be done. I am the murderer.
Oh my.
It's always the one in the top hat.
A Mad Hatter.
We should leave.
In fact, Dr. Jonas is the murderer. What would a vegan do with a butter knife? Your fingerprints should never have been on it, sir, and I want that knife back. But now comes the time when we reveal who is clever amongst us, who saw through the dastardly movings of dark people and saw the truth. First beginning with our online audience. The first to guess the murderer was Maddie Elrod. Somehow she knew. And the in-house winner was University.
Of course. Of course.
Now you can pay me.
Okay. So what should be done with Dr. Jonas? Certainly the authorities will be called, and we probably won't know today what will happen to him. But I need to give closure, to give the rest of the story. So, let me ask online, what is your favorite pet? We want someone to respond as quickly as they can. What is the best pet they've ever had? This pet will determine the fate of Dr. Jonas.
Narrator, I think I will pick someone.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Snake.
We got there was a delay.
All right. So Dr. Jonas goes on as if nothing had happened, builds his land, lives a long and happy life with Nicole Wilton. And they say crime doesn't pay. Well, thank you for joining us tonight and allowing us to be silly, to have fun together as a church family. We really do appreciate all those that enjoyed online and shared with us, but we certainly couldn't have accomplished tonight without this incredible ensemble of actors. Everyone stand up. You need to take a bow. In Facebook land, they are cheering. Ah! You did an amazing job. We hope to bring this back to you in the future, to have opportunities, again, to have fun as a church. For those that did win online, we've got a special gift for you. So Maddie will make sure we get that to you. And we hope you all enjoyed the Amazon cards. As always, we are a church family that tries to live life together. We've done some hard things, serious things recently together, and we certainly have shadows that still hang over our country. But we have each other. We have fun, and we have a God that loves us beyond measure. So let us never forget, we're not alone. There really is no judgment between us as friends and family in Christ. So join us on Wednesdays or Sundays, and as always, we'll be a church that lives together. Good night, God bless, and thank you. You guys did it.